So today we're going to go over how to select the right pallet flow product for your application. We've got a wide variety of products, everything from plastic wheel pallet flow, metal skate wheel pallet flow, and steel roller pallet flow. A lot of what goes into selecting the right pallet flow product for your application is going to depend on both your pallet type and the pallet weight. So we can handle any type of pallet, from a GMA pallet, Chep Pallet, plastic pallets, or a metal pallet. We're going to show you which product is right for your pallet and your weight. Okay, so here we have our plastic wheel pallet flow. As you can see here, it consists of a 3-track system. This is a very typical configuration where we have inline wheels on 3-inch centers for the outside track, double staggered wheels on 2-inch centers for the center track, and the center track also has our speed controller, or our brake. These brakes are vital. This controls the speed of your pallet as it travels down the lane. We recommend 40 to 60 surface feet per minute. That's going to ensure that the pallets are going to flow consistently, never hang up in your lane. It's going to make sure it's not going too fast, and that's important for safety, but it's also important for the longevity of the brake to make sure you don't have ongoing maintenance costs. So the type of pallets used for this system typically are a 40 by 48 GMA pallet. As you can see here, this type of pallet has 5 bottom boards. You got a 5.5-inch board on the front and rear, and then 3.5-inch boards in the middle. Okay, here you can see a typical 40 by 48 GMA pallet. It's got 5 bottom boards. Very common pallet. This is one we would recommend the plastic wheel pallet flow system for. As you can see, the pallet, as it travels down the lane, stays in good contact with the brake at a nice controlled speed, staying right there between 40 and 60 feet per minute. Here you can see the boards on the bottom of the pallet are perpendicular to the direction of the flow. So in other words, the boards are going left to right as the pallet travels front to back. Okay, here we have a block style pallet, which is very similar in construction to a Chep pallet. You have continuous contact with the rollers and the brakes from front to back. Not only do you have boards that are perpendicular to the direction of flow, but you also have parallel to flow boards on the bottom of this pallet. When boards are parallel to the flow, they stay in constant contact with the rollers and the brakes. And as you can see, this also travels at a nice controlled speed of 40 to 60 feet per minute. Okay, here you can see a pallet that has bottom boards that are parallel to the direction of flow. So they're front to back on the pallet. As you can see, with this type of pallet, you would have to perfectly line those runners up, or the bottom boards up, with each rail. The reason we don't recommend this type of pallet for a plastic wheel system is that you run the risk of the pallet falling off the rails and getting stuck or hung up in the system. Here we have a full width roller pallet flow system. As you can see with this system, if you have a pallet with bottom boards that are parallel to the direction of flow, you have a lot of forgiveness in where you're loading it. You don't have to worry about lining those runners up with the rails. Typically, we would make the roller system 4 inches wider than the width of your pallet. So if you have a 40-inch wide pallet, we would use a 44-inch wide roller. You cannot see the brakes, but they're mounted underneath the rollers for an indirect mount. So the same brake roller that we use for our plastic wheel pallet flow systems we use here. Here you can see a plastic pallet. This particular pallet has a smooth bottom, so it's in constant contact with the rollers. Full width roller is a great option for any type of plastic pallet. In general, you do not want to flow a plastic pallet on a plastic wheel system. There's a lot of irregularities with the bottom of a plastic pallet typically, and that's not conducive to good flow on a plastic wheel system. And again, you can see it traveling at a nice controlled speed. At the discharge end, you can see the full width stop so that when the pallet comes to rest, it stays within the lane. Okay, here you can see a GMA pallet. We're placing this on the full width roller system. As you can see, the pallet likes to bounce as it's going down the lane. And the reason for that is you've got boards that are perpendicular to the direction of flow. Those boards tend to want to get stuck between the rollers. So anytime you have a pallet with bottom boards that are perpendicular to the direction of flow, we do not recommend a full width roller system. Here you can see a plastic container. At the bottom of this container you have 9 feet or 9 pods. For this type of pallet here, it's a little trickier to design a pallet flow system. We'll put it on the full width roller as one example to see if it'll flow. But as you can see, the depth of these individual feet, and they have a tendency to want to sit down between the rollers as well. Okay, so here's the footed pallet on the full width roller system. They're kind of traveling up and down over the rollers, and the rollers are so wide and they have so much weight on them, they tend to deflect. That causes a lot of bouncing and lead to a lot of hang-ups as the pallet comes to rest. Okay, so here you can see our full width roller pallet flow. As you can see, this is a full width steel roller. The more coverage you have with the bottom boards of your pallet, the further apart we can put the roller centers, and that dramatically reduces the cost of your pallet flow system. All of these rollers are, as I said, 1.9 inches diameter. They have a heavy-duty ball bearing on each end, and we can make this tracks anywhere from 4¼ inches wide up to 52 inches wide. Okay, so here we have what we call a split rail system. It's the same roller diameter, roller type as we used on the full width roller system. The key difference here is you use a series of narrower tracks. You can either use 2 tracks or 3 tracks. Here we have a 3-track system with each of the rollers being 8 inches wide. This system is ideal for flowing a wide variety of pallets, or like the plastic pallet with the feet that we showed you earlier. This system here is very flexible. So as you can see, we have rollers on 2-inch centers, as opposed to 3-inch centers, what we showed earlier on the full width roller. This is going to be able to flow almost any type of pallet that you have. So this is ideal for any type of plastic pallet with the feet on the bottom, other types of plastic pallets. You could flow a GMA pallet on this as well, or a Chep pallet. So this is the system we would recommend if you just have a wide multitude of pallets, poor quality pallets, or anything that may be difficult to flow on another type of system. Okay, so here we have our plastic footed pallet. We saw this flow on the full width roller system. It had some difficulty getting down to the end of the lane without bouncing. Here you can see it with the 3-rail system and rollers on 2-inch centers. It's flowing a lot smoother. Nice controlled speed, a lot less bouncing. And the rollers on 2-inch centers are ideal for something like this because the individual feet on the bottom of the pallet are not very large. And again, the brakes are mounted underneath the rollers. You can't see them, but they're obviously doing their job. Some customers have applications that are not deep lane pallet flow. By not deep lane pallet flow, I mean that the system would only be 2 pallets or 3 pallet positions deep. Most of the time this is a picking application where you're picking from a pallet. For that, we would recommend a metal skate wheel system. As you can see here, no brakes. So you don't want to go more than 3 pallet positions deep. You'll run into some safety issues. The pallets are going to be flowing too fast. That'll also damage your pallet as it flows down and hits the stop. With the metal skate wheel system, we got 2 different types of rails that we can use. As you can see, they all have a 1.9 inch diameter metal wheel. This is a light duty wheel. Since it's a 1.9 inch diameter, we can have the wheels inline on 2-inch centers, or we can actually stagger the wheels and have them staggered on 1.5 inch center. And again, the wheel pattern is going to be driven by the weight of your product as well as the pallet quality, the number of bottom boards you have. So as you can see, no matter what kind of pallet you have or what kind of weight your pallet is, we have a solution to fit your needs. If you have pallets of your own that you'd like us to test, we have bays here in our facility where we can test them for you to ensure that your pallets are going to flow properly on our pallet flow equipment. Hopefully you found this helpful. If there's any more information you would like, please send us an email at info@concentricstorage.com.